For decades, the cities along the Metro Gold Line and its Foothill extension have been drawing up plans for the areas around their stations. Their focus has been to encourage increased commercial, residential, and mixed-use density near stations. Referred to as transit-oriented developments, these new facilities support transit ridership by bringing jobs, amenities, and housing within close proximity to the train.
We have almost record unemployment in parts of the state, and here we are with a project that is not only going to create jobs for the direct construction, but is going to create economic development in each and every city along the corridor.
The studies show that every time you put light rail, the economy boosts up. And so we expect that to happen here, but we're going to help it along with our transit-oriented development.
Transit-oriented development, or TOD for short, is often defined as the area within a quarter to a half-mile radius around a transit site. And that geographical definition is very important because it defines the walking distance. This is the area that people are willing to walk to and from the platform to another destination. So that area is rich with opportunities, and that's the reason why you really want to look very carefully at density and the mix of uses, because if you get it right and fine-tune it in a way that's appropriate for the community, you'll have a big success.
I think the builders in the last 15 or 20 years have figured out that there really is a demand for some of these urban locations, that for a while the push was always to go further outside the basin. And I think at some point they realized, in terms of customer satisfaction, the long commutes that were created, that some people were really looking for an alternative that had them closer to the amenities that you find in an urban environment, the recreational opportunities, the arts, the culture.
Not everybody wants a white picket fence with a big green lawn with two-car garage. Not everyone wants that. So you give options.
This episode will provide a look at transit-oriented developments along the Metro Gold Line, what has been built around the segment from Los Angeles to Pasadena, and developments planned along the future Foothill extension. Phase 1 of the Gold Line between Los Angeles and Pasadena was completed in 2003 with 13 stations.
TOD, transit-oriented development, can look and feel different in different locations, and we're going to talk about a couple of examples. Del Mar was one of the first projects in this area at a relatively high density. This was, prior to the development that you see before you, was an empty parking lot, and it had a historic depot on it.
The construction authority selected Urban Partners, a local development company, to take the lot around the future station and envision something special. Del Mar's transit-oriented development includes nearly 350 apartment units and 25,000 square feet of restaurant and retail space on the ground floor. The historic Santa Fe Depot, which was the only building on the block before the project, was temporarily relocated to nearby Central Park during construction, brought back, restored, and now houses a successful restaurant that serves as the centerpiece of the ground floor retail. Construction of the Del Mar Station TOD also helped to fuel the construction of other projects in the area.
There tends to be a ripple effect from transit-oriented development, and I think Del Mar is a really good example. Recently we resurveyed the area within a half-mile radius to see what has happened since Del Mar was developed. And in fact, there's been 1,800 new residential units constructed within a half mile, and there's been about 170,000 square feet of other retail and commercial space. And that's new space, that's not counting what's happening in Old Town. So let's talk about South Pasadena, Mission Meridian, for a second. That neighborhood is built out to a traditional suburban density of about 4 units to the acre. And if you drive the street, it really looks like just part of the neighborhood. But in actuality, if you look at the grid and to take an aerial view, the Mission Meridian portion of it is 45 units to the acre. They've just been very clever about how they've designed it, how the residential units meet the street, etc. By anchoring the western end of Mission Street with dozens of households, you've now built in a small but stable population of people who want something convenient. So some of the storefronts on Mission start to be more active.
There was a rail corridor in Highland Park that was an abandoned rail line, and it was a dump site. And now we had investors coming in looking at how this land could change. We saw jobs emerge because we changed how space behaved. So what was an abandoned rail line became now a corridor of energy.
Mayor Bill Bogard has witnessed firsthand the development that has occurred around Pasadena's 6 Gold Line stations.
The willingness of investors to build new facilities in the corridor of the light rail station, there's no doubt that that investment level has been significant. 4 times as many homes have been built in Pasadena this decade as in the 1990s, and the bulk of those have been built in the central business district near the light rail station. In my mind, while the evidence isn't comprehensive, the light rail system has strengthened Pasadena's property values significantly. We've experienced mixed-use development, 3, 4, and 5 stories of height, so that we now have an urban lifestyle available in the city of Pasadena for those who enjoy being able to live and work and access transit all without the use of an automobile.
With funding secured through Measure R, the segment from Pasadena to Asuza broke ground in June 2010 and is planned to be completed in 2015.
Well, the San Gabriel Valley is really unique. If you look at all of the rail projects in the Los Angeles area, ours has a unique set of conditions that I think are really special and really conducive to TOD. So for example, if you look at the Expo line and where it runs right down the middle of an urban area, and that land is pretty much built out. It might go a little denser, but it's pretty well developed. What you find around most of the transit station sites along the extension is lower density uses or vacant land. And that is a true opportunity to create TOD from scratch.
We spoke with a number of city officials about their plans for development around the future stations.
The cities along the Foothill extension have been just remarkable in their preparation for TOD. They have not only been supportive, they've been downright welcoming and enthusiastic.
One of the more ambitious transit-oriented developments is an 80-acre Station Square Transit Village, which envisions housing, retail, and recreational open space near Monrovia's future Gold Line station.
In the area in southern Monrovia, we are significantly lacking in open spaces, parks, and just general public amenities. And so we knew that we wanted to get something done that was substantial and meaningful.
And we have 2 developers we've been working with for a number of years now. One of them is Samuelson Fetter, and the other is the Olson Company. One focuses more on business and retail, the other focuses more on housing. And with the 2 of them, we've got it down to phases.
That, I think, is going to be the relationship that really pushes forward and fosters all of the private growth that will ripple out of this initial investment.
2 stations are being built in the city of Asuza, the Asuza Alameda Station and the Asuza Citrus Station, each located in a very different and important area of the city. Asuza Alameda is located in downtown Asuza, the business and civic center of town, while Asuza Citrus is located on the city's eastern boundary with Glendora, steps away from Citrus College and Asuza Pacific University. As the Foothill extension has progressed from planning to reality, Asuza has looked at the land near both station sites and has planned for the future by encouraging added density and mixed-use developments.
Asuza has a very aggressive redevelopment policy. We're attempting to make the city a better place by enhancing the shopping opportunities. We've oriented the development of our downtown around this project. We've just completed the construction of a Target store directly across the street with a beautiful view of where that station will be.
Well, the current status is we've been in negotiation with a number of developers. We have just to the north here, across from the Target project, plans to have some additional commercial retail, and then behind that some housing, some townhome living opportunities for the transit-oriented development phase.
One of the largest new housing opportunities along the Gold Line is a master-planned community called Rosedale, which is being built adjacent to the Asuza Citrus Station.
Asuza has been really blessed with having one of the last really good developable pieces of land in the San Gabriel Valley. The Citrus Station is built right up against the Rosedale development with about 1,200 homes and a small retail area planned for that. And we see that as being really a housing destination for people as they are looking for good places to live with an easy commute of the city of Los Angeles or other areas.
Yeah, the Rosedale project, along with all residential development in Southern California, had some problems with the economic downturn. That group has reformed itself, has reemerged from bankruptcy, and is now Rosedale Land Partners. They're beginning construction again. One of the sub-developers has already begun pulling permits for construction of 98 homes on the western portion of the Rosedale project. Obviously, it's the end of the Phase 2A, and I think it'll be a very popular station for folks that hope to ride the Gold Line from parts east.
The next leg of the Foothill extension, from Asuza to Montclair, is currently undergoing environmental review and will soon be ready for funding and construction. In anticipation of the line, cities further east are already getting started on planning for their transit-oriented developments. Glendora has plans for a 180-unit mixed-use facility and another smaller 87-unit facility around their station site.
Also, as part of the old Monrovia Nursery, we have the Monrovia Nursery project, which is approximately 100 acres that is currently going to be developed as single-family residences. And those single-family residences would come all the way down to the tracks.
In the city of San Dimas, they are encouraging greater density near their Gold Line station with new condominiums, mixed-use developments, and expanded businesses in their downtown area. Further east along the Foothill extension, in the cities of Pomona, Claremont, and Montclair, there already exist Metrolink train stations beside which the future Gold Line stations will be built. Because these areas are already established as transit centers, these cities have had a head start on much of their planning for transit-oriented developments. Claremont is the furthest along.
Our city has been preparing for the Gold Line for the past 5-10 years now. We've already started with our first transit-oriented development, which is already built and ongoing, and we're building another one. Our current transit-oriented development has been one of the most popular residential spots in the city. We're now opening up a new spot of affordable housing and senior project along the same route, and we're hoping that it's going to be just as of a great addition to the city as the existing part has been.
They had a fruit packing shed that existed on an area right across from one of their main streets, Indian Hill Boulevard. And they could have demolished it, and they could have just built traditional development that looked just like the rest of the town. Instead, what they did is they refurbished and repurposed the packing house, thus saving a really important part of Claremont's history. To that, they added some small-scale retail and restaurants, a Laemmle movie theater, which is a big desire for the surrounding community, and a small boutique hotel. I went to school out there, and so I've experienced the village firsthand from many years ago, and I had the opportunity to go out to Claremont one Sunday a couple of weeks ago, and I was just flabbergasted. The place was just hopping. People were going to the movies, people were having a meal, there was a farmer's market. It was just everything you would ever hope to get from a TOD.
In addition to increasing mobility in the San Gabriel Valley, the Gold Line and its many transit-oriented developments will help spur economic growth and business opportunities throughout the corridor.
3 of the Foothill cities that are involved in Phase 2A were recently nominated as the most business-friendly cities in Los Angeles County. That would be Monrovia, Duarte, and Asuza. And I think I'm proud of the fact that of the 12 cities nominated for that distinction, 6 of them came from the San Gabriel Valley. So the cities along the Foothill corridor all have taken advantage of this opportunity in the Gold Line and are capitalizing on this as a key element to the revitalization.
To see the development that's happening not only in our city, but in other cities around this thing. People having the understanding and the belief that the good things will happen in their cities because of the train, acting on them, spending real dollars to set up the benefits, and then to see them start to actually come to fruition. This is good.
View other videos about the Gold Line Foothill extension and sign up for e-newsletter updates at www.foothillextension.org.